Caitlin Clark to the New York Liberty? Confirmed? You guys? The photo circulating went viral of Caitlin Clark in the bowels of the Barclays Center with Liberty coach Sandy Brondello and Breanna Stewart and Sabrina.
The basketball world is absolutely buzzing, and for once, it's not about what happened on the court. What started as a seemingly innocent post-game tunnel chat has officially exploded into the biggest, most jaw-dropping story women's basketball has seen all year. We're talking about none other than superstar guard Caitlin Clark, still very much under contract with the Indiana Fever, caught red-handed in what looked like a super private huddle with New York Liberty legends Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and their head coach Sandy Brondello.
Well, we're going to talk about this little scene that took place after the Fever game last night in New York between Sandy Brondello and Caitlin Clark, the New York Liberty, and the agent. The agent. That is what makes...
Hold up, wait a minute. This wasn't just some friendly, casual competitor banter. Oh no, because right there, smack dab in the middle of this intimate powwow stood Caitlin Clark's agent, Aaron Kane. That detail alone transforms a benign exchange into a full-blown WNBA fan meltdown, sparking the one question every single person in the basketball universe is now screaming: is the biggest name in women's basketball already plotting her great escape from Indiana?
And many people is insinuating that Caitlin Clark could be trying to plan the outs of Indiana. Yes. People is already saying that Caitlin Clark could be trying to get the hell out of Indiana.
The drama unfolded after the Liberty absolutely dismantled the Indiana Fever, cruising to a dominant 98-77 victory on Wednesday night. And here's where it gets wild. Even though Clark was benched due to a recurring groin injury, she still made the trip to New York. That decision alone raised a few eyebrows, but what happened next in the Barclays Center tunnel area? Well, that sent the entire basketball world into an absolute frenzy.
Is a WNBA team that have been very, very, very much in, like, they made it clear that they want Caitlin Clark, or they're eventually going to want Caitlin Clark. Along those lines, they made it very, very clear. And that team is the New York Liberty. And today, we have just seen the New York Liberty players, after the game, meeting up with Caitlin Clark. It is Stewie. It is Sabrina Ionescu. There is Sandy Brondello. And by the way, Stewie is not leaving New York the rest of her career. That is one thing that I will be 199.
There they were, Clark and her agent, Aaron Kane, locked in what appeared to be an intensely private conversation with Liberty head coach Sandy Brondello, flanked by star players Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu. The optics weren't just striking, they felt incredibly deliberate. This wasn't some accidental run-in down a random hallway. This was a calculated, premeditated rendezvous between a superstar player, her representation, and what many consider the premier organization in all of women's basketball.
New York Liberty sent the blitz. Sandy, Sap, and Stewie are all talking to Caitlin Clark in the tunnel. So my guess is this right here happened at the conclusion of the game. This, my friends, is currently going viral all over social media right now. That is Caitlin Clark immediately after the game. Now, what's crazy is that her team lost the damn game, but Caitlin is all smiles. She's all smiles.
Everyone involved, the Liberty players, Caitlin, they were all smiles, creating a viral moment that instantly launched a million conspiracy theories about what exactly was being cooked up. For a player who's seemingly faced a never-ending barrage of adversity and physicality from opponents throughout her career, seeing her look so comfortable and relaxed with the Liberty's leadership group was a truly welcome sight for her legions of supporters. And, let's be real, a downright terrifying one for Fever fans.
This is how it starts in sports. This is how it starts in the NFL. This is how it starts in the NBA. When you start seeing the wheels in motion, there's signs. There's signs before eventually a player gets traded, a player eventually marks their next destination. The Indiana Fever, you're on notice. You're on notice. You better recognize what you've got going on, the asset in front of you, and you do whatever you have to do to correct what is happening.
Let's just be brutally honest about the hot mess unfolding in Indiana. The Fever rolled into the 2025 season with sky-high championship aspirations, even launching a bold Now You Know campaign that promised nothing short of total dominance. They brought in veteran firepower like Aaliyah Boston and Natasha Howard, genuinely believing they could construct a championship contender around their undeniable superstar. But here's the cold, hard reality check. The Fever are limping along at 12-11, struggling desperately to find any semblance of an identity. They've been plagued by injuries, with Clark missing a staggering 11 games due to various ailments. And even when she is healthy, the team looks utterly incapable of stringing together consistent performances. One game, they flash moments of brilliance. The next, they're getting absolutely blown out by teams they should be dominating.
Say, imagine getting on national TV, being paid by ESPN, paid by CBS, and have the nerve to look at the viewing public, lie to them, and say the Indiana Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark. I'm curious, are those same people going to be on TV this evening, tomorrow morning? Are they going to look in the camera and double down on the Indiana Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin?
And honestly, the organization's handling of Clark has been questionable from the jump. Remember when the WNBA launched a whole investigation into alleged fan behavior at a Fever game, only to find zero substantiated evidence? The league's treatment of Indiana's loyal fan base, the very same fans who single-handedly brought record viewership and attendance to the WNBA, has been tone-deaf at best. Meanwhile, Coach Stephanie White's approach has been to force Clark into her existing system, rather than building the entire damn system around a generational talent, trying to fit Caitlin Clark into a preset mold instead of crafting a system for her. That's not just a bad coaching decision, that's coaching malpractice when you've got the most marketable player in the entire league.
I think the obvious issue is Stephanie White is so stubborn to fit a circle in a square peg instead of utilizing the strengths of the team. And she probably felt relief because Caitlin Clark was hurt, that, oh, this is my time, I could introduce the culture and the system. And some actually bought in. And then when Caitlin Clark comes back, she doesn't know how to use her. That's not...
Now, let's starkly contrast Indiana's struggles with the absolute powerhouse brewing in New York. The Liberty aren't just your defending WNBA champions. They are a meticulously built franchise primed to dominate this league for years to come. With a core featuring Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Jonquel Jones, they've already assembled what many are calling a bona fide super team. Sandy Brondello, the Liberty's head coach, is a proven winner who fundamentally understands how to maximize elite talent. She's got 2 WNBA championships as a head coach and consistently guides her teams deep into the playoffs. Her philosophy, it's player first, focused on putting players in positions where they can truly shine, not cramming them into restrictive, predetermined roles. The Liberty's roster construction also blows Indiana's out of the water. They've expertly surrounded their stars with complementary players who intrinsically understand their roles. Natasha Cloud brings veteran savvy and lockdown defense, while Leon Fibiche adds international flair and versatile scoring. Even their bench players like Kennedy Burke and Maureen Johannes bring championship pedigree. But most importantly, the Liberty have meticulously cultivated an undeniable culture of winning. Stewart herself talked about injecting a championship mentality into New York, and it's crystal clear that mindset permeates every single corner of that organization. They're not just chasing one title, they're building an empire.
But the Liberty have shown her love. We've seen that as a bit of a theme. There was the moment between Stewie and Clark when Clark came back from injury the first time, and then there were some nice words. I missed the moment myself of them posted up there for a second, but there were some nice words from Liberty coach Sandy Brondello that I did capture, and I thought they were
Just picture it, Caitlin Clark orchestrating the offense for a team that already boasts Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu. The basketball would be pure poetry in motion, a masterclass of offensive artistry. Clark's unparalleled court vision and dizzying passing ability would unlock countless new opportunities for Stewart's versatile scoring and Ionescu's lights-out three-point shooting. The offensive firepower would be unlike anything the WNBA has ever dared to imagine. But it's not just about the magic on the hardwood. The Liberty play in the nation's largest media market, backed by ownership that inherently grasps the immense value of star power. Clara Wu Tsai and Joe Tsai, who also own the Brooklyn Nets, have demonstrated an unwavering commitment to constructing a championship caliber organization. They've poured investments into state-of-the-art facilities, elite coaching, and unparalleled player development in ways that other WNBA franchises simply haven't matched. The Liberty also call the Barclays Center home, one of the premier arenas in all of sports. The fan experience in Brooklyn is on a completely different planet compared to what Clark experiences in Indianapolis. The Liberty have cultivated an irresistible culture where top players actively want to come and where superstars can truly explode. From a purely basketball standpoint, the fit is absolutely perfect. Clark's unique strengths would complement the Liberty's existing core with breathtaking synergy. She's a transcendent passer who elevates everyone around her. Stewart and Ionescu are proven scorers who would feast on Clark's visionary playmaking, and the three-point shooting, it would be utterly ridiculous. Imagine trying to defend a team that can effortlessly launch from anywhere on the court.
I think there is a 50-50 chance Caitlin Clark leaves Indiana after her rookie season. No, after rookie season, after rookie contract is up. Because I have a feeling that with all the restricted free agency and everything, I think they're going to try to get rid of all coring out of the CBA. I don't think coring is going to be a thing. I don't think coring is going to be a thing in the CBA. And obviously, look, you're going to have to core players. And they're going to have to core Aaliyah a year earlier than Caitlin. And if they're scared Aaliyah is going to leave, and if they're like, oh, we want to core and trade Caitlin, then Aaliyah leaves for nothing. And Caitlin leaves for nothing. So it's a bit of a weird one.
The league office has to be absolutely terrified at the mere prospect of Clark joining the Liberty. The WNBA has poured immense effort into maintaining some semblance of competitive balance, but a Clark-Stewart-Ionescu triumvirate would be an unstoppable force unlike anything the league has ever witnessed. They wouldn't just be championship favorites. They'd be prohibitive, nearly guaranteed winners. Think about it. Clark led the league in assists as a rookie, while also being one of the most prolific scorers. Stewart is a two-time champion and former MVP who can dominate from multiple positions, and Ionescu is a lethal three-point specialist holding multiple league records. Adding Clark would essentially guarantee them a spot in the WNBA Finals for the foreseeable future. Other teams would genuinely be playing for second place. But here's the kicker. The WNBA might secretly be loving this scenario. Clark's presence in New York would unleash a tsunami of media attention and viewership for the entire league. Liberty games would instantly become must-see television, driving up ratings and revenue for everyone involved. Sometimes having one dominant must-watch team is precisely what a league needs to capture mainstream attention and skyrocket its popularity.
How many people is insinuating? They're insinuating that Caitlin Clark could be trying to get the hell out of Indy. Now, I ain't gonna hold you. Your boy John Liquidator definitely want her to get out of Indy, bro. And it's this photo right here that is really heating up. I mean, this one right here is really breaking the bank, bro. Look, Sandy Bordello got her hand all on Caitlin, bro.
Now, for the big unspoken question, the elephant in the room. Does the Liberty's interaction with Clark actually constitute tampering under WNBA rules? The league has notoriously strict regulations governing teams communicating with players under contract to other organizations. Violations can lead to severe penalties like hefty fines, loss of draft picks, or even more punitive measures. However, the line between casual conversation and outright tampering can be incredibly blurry. Players and coaches interact with opponents all the time. The undeniable presence of Clark's agent certainly injects a heavy dose of suspicion into the situation, but without actual audio recordings or clear, undeniable evidence of recruitment discussions, it's incredibly difficult to definitively prove that tampering occurred. Unless there's smoking gun evidence of recruiting pitches, the league is highly unlikely to take action based solely on a tunnel conversation. That said, the optics of this whole thing are absolutely terrible for the league. Having a star player and her agent meet with a rival organization's leadership immediately after a game sends a glaring message. The current system just isn't working for everyone. It strongly suggests that players and their agents are already eyeing future opportunities and potential exits, even while they're still under contract. And so, here we are, watching this unfold.
But you can see, and this is one of the more important things. You see this right here. You see this right here. This is Caitlin's agent. This is Caitlin Clark's agent. So Caitlin Clark's agent is involved in, meeting up with, or in this meeting, whatever it is, whether it's a meeting or just a chat. Caitlin's agent is there. That's her freaking agent. Looks like it. See.
So let's talk about the widely reported positive relationship between Clark and coach Stephanie White, because if you look closely, there are clear signs of tension bubbling just beneath the surface. White has repeatedly emphasized fitting Clark into her system, rather than building the system around Clark's unparalleled strengths. For a once-in-a-generation talent like Clark, this approach is fundamentally flawed. White's coaching philosophy champions ball movement and getting everyone involved, which, while admirable in theory, simply doesn't maximize Clark's truly unique abilities. Clark is at her absolute best when the ball is in her hands, dissecting defenses, creating for teammates, and taking over games. White's public comments about protecting Clark's peace and helping her navigate all of this subtly suggests she views Clark as a player who needs to be managed, carefully handled, rather than unleashed. That, folks, is the absolute wrong approach with a player of Clark's caliber. Now, compare that to how Sandy Brondello has consistently handled superstars throughout her career. She's coached legends like Diana Taurasi and Brittany Greener, players who demanded the ball and the creative freedom to dominate games. Brondello's core philosophy is precisely the opposite. She meticulously puts players in positions to succeed, never forcing them into predetermined roles.
If Stephanie White believes that this team is better with Ari McDonald in, blah, 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 if she shares the same views as Carolyn Peck, you fire her on the spot. I don't care if she is an Indiana Fever alum. You fire her on the spot. And anybody else in the organization that shares that same belief set. I mean, these Stephanie White truthers, no surprise, she checks boxes, and they're the old WNBA fandom that thinks Stephanie White's getting a raw deal right now. It's so obvious she don't know what she's doing. She don't know what she's doing with this kind of
Let's just be brutally honest about the stark reality of playing basketball in Indianapolis versus New York. While Indianapolis has undoubtedly embraced Clark and the Fever with open arms, it remains a relatively small market compared to the sprawling global hub that is New York City. The Liberty play in the nation's largest media market, granting unparalleled access to coveted sponsors, lucrative endorsement opportunities, and media attention that simply does not exist in Indiana. For a player of Clark's monumental stature, market size isn't just a factor, it matters immensely. She's already the most marketable player in the WNBA, but playing in New York would amplify that exponentially, turning her into an even bigger global brand. The additional endorsement opportunities alone would be worth millions of dollars in extra income. Beyond that, the Liberty have invested heavily, building state-of-the-art facilities and hiring a top-tier coaching staff. Their organizational commitment to winning is glaringly evident in every single thing they do. Clark's potential move to the Liberty would send shockwaves throughout the entire league. It would instantly create a super team that would be virtually impossible to compete with, potentially forcing other organizations to make dramatic, desperate moves just to stay remotely competitive. The competitive balance implications are truly staggering. The Liberty would, in essence, become the Golden State Warriors of the WNBA, a team so overwhelmingly talented that they'd be favored to win every single game they play.
I think this is really bad what's going on with Caitlin Clark. I'm really concerned as a fan, as a basketball fan. I'm really concerned. I hope it's not serious. I hope it was just a little strain and she just needs rest. I just hope it's minor. We don't know what's going on, but man, imagine if Caitlin Clark misses the whole entire All-Star game. Wow. That could be a possibility. If that happens, this is nothing but Kathy Engelbert's fault. You got these garbage refs that don't protect the players. You allow players do what they want to do. You don't
The fan response to this entire saga has been immediate, intense, and deeply emotional. Caitlin Clark's most ardent supporters are practically buzzing with excitement about the possibility of her joining a championship caliber organization. They've watched her battle through injuries and struggle with inconsistent team play in Indiana, and all they want is to see her in a situation where she can truly thrive and reach her full potential. Liberty fans, on the other hand, are understandably thrilled beyond words. Adding Clark to their already stacked roster would forge a team poised to dominate the league for years on end, sending the excitement around the franchise into the stratosphere. Fever fans, meanwhile, are in full-blown panic mode. They've built their entire team identity around Clark, and the thought of losing her would be absolutely devastating. Adding to the allure, Coach Brondello's proven track record, replete with championships and playoff appearances, speaks for itself. She has a reputation for getting the absolute best out of her players. Her player-first coaching approach means she meticulously adapts her system to fit her players' strengths, rather than forcing them into predetermined roles. With Clark, she would undoubtedly implement a system that maximizes her unparalleled playmaking ability and incredible court vision. Furthermore, the Liberty's coaching staff is demonstrably deeper and far more experienced than Indiana's, boasting assistant coaches who have worked with championship-level players and intrinsically understand what it truly takes to win at the highest level.